This week marks 4 years since the Ford corkscrew fire, and I just wanted to take a second to show what 4 years of regrowth and fire recovery looks like. The early succession shrub layer is growing in nice and heavy. That is all ceanothus. Ponderosa pine seedlings starting to break above it. As well as aspen seedlings. Got serviceberry in there as well. These are going to be the broadleaf trees that were alive before the fire and were able to shoot back up from the root, from the stool. Upland willow. Got serviceberry in the foreground and maple. Here's a black locust that I started from seed. Just about 6 feet tall. About 5.5. The wild roses are between 4 and 6 feet tall now. Lots and lots of snowberry all over the place. That shrub layer really coming in strong. Got apple trees that I've planted, seedlings. Grasshoppers have been at this one. This is where a lot of the biggest trees are these days. This maple. Couple inches in diameter already. Here's a young larch that I planted. Another willow in there. Another great example of a larch that I planted, coming way up above the shrubs. There's a mock orange that's trying to turn into a tree over here. Lots of thimbleberry in places that get more water. Lots of ocean spray. These willows have been especially impressive over here. Lots of groundwater in this area and a draw. And then same story with a larch that I planted. It's a good 9 feet tall already. Really reaching for the light. We'll walk down to the spring and the creek and see what's going on down there. We've got a few small sections that were burned at a lower intensity. The fire was kept to the ground and out of the crown. So we've got adolescent and adult trees that survived. Those are ponderosa pines in the foreground. And then Douglas fir in the background. And then there's an unburned section right on the fire perimeter here. So lots of fir, Doug fir, as well as larch in there. And then here you can see where it was burned in the understory. And then full crown fire. We'll walk down here to the spring, and then we'll check out down here in the seasonal stream as well. All right, here we are at the spring. You can see the similar characters, maple, willow, and of course there's a lot of water in this area, so you're going to see lots and lots of thimbleberry. There's a Prunus americana that I planted, American plum. More nice recovery from the maples. In the foreground here, I've got a couple of young maples that were from seed. And I tend to store my plant starts for the year here. Started a lot of apple from seed this year. A lot of sea berry from seed. These are Pinus sabiniana, California ghost pine, foothill pine, gray pine, whatever you want to call them. Aronia from seed. Golden currant that I planted. More golden currant. That one's huge now. Some of my older aronias actually flowered and fruited for the first time this year. Nice to have aronia berry. I have some other fun starts that I did. Carolina spice bush, Carolina allspice. Here's a black cap raspberry that I put in the ground last year. Starting to take off. I actually got a Che to sprout. I tried these a couple of years ago, but I had no luck. This year I got one. Eventually I'll need at least two, male and female. Another aronia. Lots and lots of young birch and alder from seed sprouting in here. Hoping that they will be able to catch up to this maple before too long. More willows. Big old raspberry. This was the first year that I actually got meaningful amounts of berries. And next year it looks like it's going to be lots more. There's more golden currant that I started in here, as well as some willows that I started from just sticking cuttings in the ground. Willow very easily roots from dormant cuttings. It produces its own rooting compounds, rooting hormone, and growth hormone, and actually puts them out into the soil too. So if you're trying to root other plants, maybe stick some willow cuttings in the soil next to them. There's a willow from seed in the background that absolutely took off this year. It put on a good 7 feet of growth. I've got some apple trees in here I want to check out. In the foreground here is a Elaeagnaceae plant. I'm pretty sure it was buffalo berry. That's what I said in previous videos, but I haven't always kept the best track of my seedlings. Cultivar strawberry in there. I like to just let them go feral. Those appear to be seedlings of northern catalpa, which wouldn't surprise me. There are some growing not too far away. More buffalo berry here with apple next to it. This is one of the apples that has repeatedly top dyed, like every winter, which is really curious. But it's coming back strong. Here's one of my early seedling apples, just left to be pretty much feral. You can see he had some herbivory here, but that's okay. Just growing on. Up here, I've got my Arkansas Black, which is really starting to take off finally. Put on lots of good growth this year, even on the lower branches. Looks like more catalpa seedlings. You can see more of these willows just popping up all over because the ground is moist here. There's another look at that one that absolutely took off from the other side. Got an apple in here. I cut this one and grafted it this year. So this is black strawberry popping up here. We'll head a little farther down and check out what's going on down there. So we're down here under these beautiful surviving western larches, with of course some Douglas firs in the background as well. So things have been recovering really well down here, putting on lots of growth. A lot of the aspens are continuing to get a lot of herbivory, which is expected, but every year they get a little bit taller. Well, they get a lot taller, but then they get eaten back. They gain a few every year. There's a larch that I planted. That was just a plug, so that one has grown quite well. Oh, I've been doing a little bit of tree art here. I braided this willow just this last winter, and it is already bonding together. Fun stuff. This is the area that I have a lot more seedlings and plants in pots as well. Just picked up a whole bunch of these from a local nursery because they were on clearance. Got stuff like goji, named variety sea berries, more aronia because why not? There's a kiwi down there. This is a fig rooted cutting from a friend. Quince, good size quince for cheap. I just picked up this pear, which is got 5 varieties grafted on it. Funny enough, the tag says 4-way, but there are 5 varieties on it, so. Got a flowering quince in the ground here. Those are real pretty in spring. That alder is doing phenomenal. That's only 2 years old from seed. We'll go check out some of the other stuff that I've planted recently. Oh, also some honey locust. Along the path here, we've got lots of stuff coming up. Willows, of course. But also larches. Hidden down there, I don't know if I can quite see it from here. I have an American persimmon that's doing pretty well. Birch trees recovering. Got a medlar here. Quince. There's a green gage plum. Lots more great trees popping up above the shrub layer. Willow. Birch doing really well. There's a hazelnut or filbert. That's a big one that I got because it was on clearance at the nursery. But then, of course, I have little ones as well. Those little ones are actually California hazelnut, our West Coast variety. We've got a lovely named cherry tree here. Maple recovery. Got a Shapova rowan tree right there. It's a hybrid between European pear and rowan. More American plum. Starting to inch its way towards the top of the shrub layer. Lots of these mock orange doing really well. Got named sea berry in there. And then a really beautiful crab apple that I'm excited to have. That one's Robert's crab. My kiwi vines are down there. Can go over there and check them out. All right, here we are next to this old alder tree that was top killed in the fire. This is my male Arctic kiwi, Actinidia colomitka. The alder is actually shooting back up, doing quite well. And the kiwi is starting to climb the old tree, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's my male. I got it first, and it survived its first summer and winter, and now it's second summer. And then through this maze of wild raspberry and thimbleberry, I have my female, which I got earlier this year. So she's hanging out down here. Not very big yet, but getting up here. So my hope is to actually build a little bit of a arbor for this one, because I want the fruit to stay reachable. Here's an example of a young blue elder. Got a couple small clusters of fruit ripening there. Really excited to see these always, especially since I've had no luck propagating them for whatever reason. That's another that supposedly roots extremely well, but mine have failed thus far. Here's a close-up example of ponderosa pine recovery. They seem to be one of the few that has done well thus far after the fire. I suppose that's to be expected. Pretty much a pioneer tree. Lots of growing still to do, though.